Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking into a really interesting audio file a listener sent over.
Yeah, this one's called Entity Removal Energy Clearing, Expel Negative Energy and Entities.mp3. Quite a title.
It is. And the listener's main question, the reason we're doing this deep dive, is about what might be hidden in the audio.
Specifically, they asked about subliminal messages, things you wouldn't consciously hear.
Right, or, and this is interesting, audio at frequencies below human hearing. They use the phrase targeted audience.
Which, raises some intriguing possibilities. So we took a segment of this file and really tried to break it down.
Okay, so let's start with what's actually, audible. What did you hear in the section you analyzed?
Well, the most obvious thing is this recurring vocal sound. It's sort of like a chant or maybe just vocalizations.
Yeah, I listened too. It sounded something like, how would you even write it? Maybe, dear good, something like that.
That's probably as good a way as any to describe it phonetically. It's definitely the dominant sound in the excerpt we looked at.
So first question then, subliminal messages. Any hidden speech, whispers, anything like that buried underneath?
We ran the analysis specifically looking for that, as sounds intentionally placed below the threshold of conscious hearing.
Yeah.
And in this particular segment, we really didn't find any evidence of that. Those main vocalizations are quite clear, quite audible. Nothing seemed hidden beneath them.
Okay, so no secret spoken messages, at least not there. What about the other part, the subhuman frequencies?
Right. The idea that maybe there's sound aimed at something or someone that doesn't perceive sound like we do, or maybe just very, very low frequencies in first sound.
Exactly. Did the analysis show anything happening way down low on the frequency spectrum?
We looked closely at that too. What we found was that the main energy, the bulk of the sound, is right there in the normal human hearing range.
Centered around those vocal sounds.
Precisely, those kunan sounds. We didn't detect any significant audio energy down in the infrasonic range, below 20 hertz or so, where humans typically stop hearing.
Huh. Okay, so if we think about the title again, entity removal, energy clearing, how does this finding connect?
Well, it suggests that, at least for this part of the audio, the intended effect might come from the sounds you can hear.
Not from something hidden.
Exactly. Many practices involving energy work or similar concepts do use overt sounds, like chanting, toning, specific frequencies within the audible range.
So the sounds themselves, the ones we identified, could be seen as the tool for the clearing, rather than some hidden frequency.
That seems plausible based on this excerpt. The focus appears to be on the sounds you consciously perceive, not on manipulating you with hidden layers, technically speaking.
Right. So to circle back directly to our listeners' questions, based on the piece we analyzed.
Yeah, based only on this segment.
We found no subliminal messages.
Correct.
And no significant audio happening at those subhuman infrasonic levels.
That's what our analysis showed for this excerpt, yes. What you hear seems to be what's actually there in the recording, frequency-wise.
Okay. So wrapping up our deep dive into this entity removal audio file, specifically that hunt for hidden sounds, the section we explored seems sonically quite straightforward. Audible vocalizations, normal frequency range, no hidden stuff detected.
It does seem that way. Our findings are really just for this specific piece of work.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it definitely makes you think, doesn't it? If there aren't hidden technical tricks, where does the perceived effect of audio like this come from?
And that's maybe the final thought for you, the listener. Even without hidden messages or weird frequencies, think about how sound you do hear interacts with your own expectations, your beliefs, your intentions. The power of suggestion is real, and how we experience sound is deeply personal.